Welcome everyone to Coin New Yen Review channel. Before we dive into today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so more people can discover us. Enjoy the show. The night I returned to my homeland, I suddenly learned my family had arranged a fiancée for me, a woman I had never even met. I discovered she was to be my betrothed. Before I could even step through my family's door, friends dragged me to a bar. "Come on, I'll show you your future wife," he said. The lights were dim. My friend tugged me along. We sneaked past her, pretending to casually pass by. I hadn't yet caught a clear glimpse of her face when I overheard her talking about me with a friend nearby. "What era is this?" she said. "My father," she continued. "He's gone and arranged a marriage for me," she fumed. "Forcing me to wed a man I've never even seen," she added. "I don't care about his background, his personality, or his looks," she declared. "Marry him," she scoffed. "Even a dog wouldn't," her friend beside her chimed in. Slowly, she slid my photo in front of her. "Think carefully before you speak," her friend warned. My fiancée glanced at it and visibly froze. Then her tone shifted. "Marry a dog, not me," she said. "Marrying a dog is nothing," she continued. Could she even be worthy of marrying Chen, she questioned. Liu Ruyan's change of heart was too swift. Liu Ruyan, crouching beside me eavesdropping, couldn't hold back and let out a chuckle. Her laugh carried to the ears of Liu Ruyan, who was studying my photo on her phone. By the time she realized and covered her mouth, Liu Ruyan had already frowned and turned her head. Her eyes locked with Liu Ruyan's. She seemed somewhat surprised. "Mr. Gu, what are you doing here?" she asked. Liu Ruyan froze for a moment, showing no trace of embarrassment at being caught. Instead, under Liu Ruyan's gaze, he straightened up confidently, lowering the hand that covered his mouth. Looking at her, I raised an eyebrow. "What, I can't come to a bar?" I retorted. While she spoke with Liu Ruyan, Liu Ruyan hadn't yet noticed my presence. I quietly shuffled a few steps to the side, observing my fiancée for the first time. Her eyes sparkled like stars. Her smile was bright, her teeth gleaming. Her face was indeed quite beautiful. It suited my tastes perfectly. "Who cares what you think?" Liu Ruyan muttered, probably finding it absurd. Wu Yu glanced at Liu Ruyan, then turned back, retracting her gaze. And just like that, she unexpectedly met my eyes. As I was sizing her up, she froze again. Under my somewhat awkward stare, she dumbly lifted her phone to check my photo, then looked back at my face, repeating this 5 times. She seemed to realize I was the man in the photo. I tugged at the corner of my mouth, thinking I should greet her. So I said, "Hello, Miss Liu," but before I could finish, Liu Ruyan jolted. She stood up from the booth. Looking at me, she grinned like a full husband. "Did you come to find me?" she asked. Who calls someone husband at first meeting? Was she always this forward? My lips twitched. I didn't know how to respond. Luckily, Liu Ruyan took a few quick steps, positioning himself between me and Liu Ruyan, blocking her. Her gaze so intense it seemed she might devour me. "What are you shouting? Nothing's set in stone yet," he said. "Who's your husband?" he added. Liu Ruyan quickly turned to me, winking. "Let's go, Lan. Don't waste time here," he urged. "You've just returned to the country," he continued. "I've got to take you out to have some fun," he insisted. "Yeah, fun," I echoed. Wasn't our purpose here to see Liu Ruyan? I was a bit confused. What was Liu Ruyan playing at now? Though I didn't know, I still followed him deeper into the bar, stealing a few more glances at Liu Ruyan, who looked anxious. Liu Ruyan opened her mouth to stop us, but when our eyes met, her breath caught. She stopped moving. Clutching her chest, she looked at her friend, so still within earshot. I heard her say, "The man father found. He's really something," she admitted. "I'm smitten," she confessed. "What do I do?" "Do you believe in love at first sight?" she asked. "I want to marry him now," she declared. I hadn't done anything, just looked at her a few times. Was this really enough to spark love at first sight? The Yi and Liu families were of equal standing. Recently, our business dealings had grown, and because Old Master Yi and Old Master Liu were close in their youth, to strengthen the bond, both families' elders clapped their hands and settled the engagement between me and Liu Ruyan. Yet Liu Ruyan and I were the last to know of this engagement. "So are you satisfied with your future wife?" Liu Ruyan asked. Inside the private room, Liu Ruyan took a sip of his drink. looking at me with a gossiping grin. Judging by her reaction, she's more than satisfied with you, he teased. As expected, women, he continued. They're all swayed by looks, he remarked. I lowered my head and smiled. She's decent looking, I admitted. Her personality seems nice too, I added. I don't know much else, I concluded. Guyan leaned closer to me. I heard he whispered. When Liu Ruyan learned of the engagement this morning, he said, she had a huge fight with her father, he revealed. She shouted against this arranged marriage nonsense, he recounted. Saying she had no interest, he continued. No matter if he's from the Yi or Liu family, she had said. I want marry him, she had declared. Marry him yourself, she had told her father. If I give in him a dog, she had sworn. It infuriated her father so much, Guyan said. He nearly disowned her on the spot, he added. Almost raised a hand to her, he noted. But Liu Ruyan didn't care, he continued. She just walked away, he said. I did some digging, he explained, and found out she'd be here tonight, he revealed. So I thought I'd bring you to check it out, he said. Who knew, he laughed. When witnessed such a dramatic change of heart, he remarked. Guyan took another sip of his drink. I almost thought your engagement was a lie, he said. As he spoke, a knock came at the private room's door. Guyan set down his glass, his eyes crinkling with a smile. Probably my other friends, he said. My little princess must be here, he added. As a few men and women entered the room, I stood up with a smile, ill head out, then I said, not staying to hang out, Guyan asked, trying to keep me. I shook my head. Next time, I replied. Just got back and there's a lot to handle at home, I explained. Seeing I wasn't interested, Guyan didn't press further. But as I stepped out of the room, I saw Liu Ruyan standing not far away, her head lowered looking at her phone. Instinctively, I walked toward her and accidentally caught a glimpse of her phone screen, showing a chat with her father. Woof of woof, she had typed. I admit I spoke too loudly this morning, she continued. I'll accept the marriage you arranged, she wrote. I'm willing to marry Yi Chen, she added. I couldn't help but chuckle softly. Fortunately, my laugh was quiet. Liu Ruyan, absorbed in explaining her sudden change of heart to her father, didn't hear me. I pretended not to see her, quietly passing by her side. My hand deliberately brushed her shoulder. In less than a second, she grabbed my wrist. Wait, Yi Chen, she called. She stuffed her phone back in her pocket and leaned in with a delighted smile. What a coincidence, are you heading home, she asked. I smiled, subtly pulling my wrist from her grasp. Yeah, I'm heading home, I replied coolly. Let me drive you, she offered. No need, too much trouble, I declined. I refused quickly, leaving Liu Ruyan momentarily speechless, unsure of what to say next. She hesitated, seeing me about to leave. She hurriedly grabbed my sleeve, almost pleading. You don't have to be so formal with me, she said. You know we're engaged, she reminded me. I'm practically your future wife, she added. Why so polite with your wife, she teased. Not necessarily, I countered. I looked at Liu Ruyan innocently. I know, I said. Miss Liu isn't keen on this arranged marriage, I pointed out. No need to force yourself, I continued. We can clear things up with our elders, I suggest. Liu Ruyan quickly protested. Who said that? I smiled slyly. When I entered the bar, I explained. I overheard you discussing it with your friend, I said. But what did I say after, she pressed. I feigned confusion, cutting her off. The bar was too loud after that, I said. I didn't catch anything else, I added. Liu Ruyan opened her mouth anxiously, seeming unsure how to explain. She furrowed her brow, looking deeply troubled. That was just me talking nonsense, she said. In short, I'm not unwilling to accept this marriage, she clarified. Yi Chen, don't misunderstand, she pleaded. Just then my phone pinged with a message. I pretended not to hear her and looked down at my phone, preparing to leave again. All right, Miss Liu, I said. If got things to do, so I'm off, I announced. I'll talk to my parents about the engagement, I added. No need to stress yourself, I reassured. Liu Ruyan hurriedly followed. Stress, she echoed. I'm not stressed, she insisted. You don't need to clarify anything, she said. I'm willing, truly willing, she emphasized. Yi Chen, she called. Please don't misunderstand and cancel the engagement, she begged. I'd cry if you did, she said. I'd really cry, she repeated. Liu Ruyan kept explaining, all the way until she saw me to my car. I rolled down the window, smiling as I bid her goodbye, never once responding to her words. After the driver pulled away, I picked up my phone again. The screen still showed the message Gu Yian had sent. I saw you, Ryan, with you, he wrote. Don't let her pretty face fool you, he warned. Don't make it too easy for her, he advised. I lowered my gaze and smiled faintly. Of course, I knew fleeting infatuation wouldn't last. Things too easily won are rarely cherished. For now, keeping her on the hook was rather amusing. The next day, Gu Yian invited me out again, saying that since I'd just returned, some friends were eager to meet up. I arrived at the cafe as promised, only to find Gu Yian's some friends was just Bai Zhiwei alone. Bai Zhiwei, my college classmate and ex-girlfriend. I frowned at Gu Yian. Gu Yian shrugged innocently. Couldn't help it, he said. She offered too much, he admitted. You to have a good chat, he said. I'm out, he declared. I sighed, exasperated. Others ditch friends for beauty, but you sell them out for money. Gu Yian didn't give me a chance to scold him. He was already out the door, gone, leaving me and Bai Zhiwei sitting face-to-face, staring awkwardly at each other. The silence grew heavy. Bai Zhiwei scratched her forehead, trying to break the tension. Yi Chen, I still like you, she confessed. She reached out, grabbing my hand as I stirred my coffee, gazing at me tenderly. Let's get back together, she proposed. Okay, I froze, frowning as I met her eyes, recalling why we broke up. My mom said she'd always begin every matter, big or small, tied to my mom said. I really couldn't stand it. Just as I moved to pull my hand back, my phone pinged with a message from Gu Yian. I seized the chance to retract my hand and check my phone. Guess what I saw outside, he wrote. Look to your right, he instructed. I put my phone away, under Bai Zhiwei's gaze. I turned my head right, puzzled, and there outside the cafe's glass wall stood Liu Ruyan, staring straight at me, wearing a dark green baseball cap, her eyes filled with quiet resentment. For some reason, this scene gave me an inexplicable sense of being caught cheating. Seeing me freeze, Bai Zhiwei's voice came. Who is she? Do you know her? She asked. She seemed to sense a threat, and inexplicably began to criticize. My mom said, men should act like men, she declared. That person's dressed so flamboyantly, she sneered. Her face is like those women in shady places, trying to snag a rich guy, she scoffed. She's clearly no good, she concluded. Chen, you should stay away from her, she advised. Even now, she was still quoting her. She hadn't changed a bit. I snapped back to reality, smiling slyly. I raised my hand to wave at Liu Ruyan outside, then turned back to Bai Zhiwei. Keeping my smile, Bai Zhiwei, I began. Is it fair to judge by appearances? I asked. You want to get back together? I continued. Sorry, I don't like you anymore, I stated. In those few words, Liu Ruyan had stormed into the cafe, standing fiercely by our table. I looked up at her, expecting her to demand who Bai Zhiwei was, but she just glanced between me and Bai Zhiwei, her eyes flashing with urgency. She yanked off her green cap, plopped down beside me fuming, then grabbed a wet wipe from the table, pulled my hand, the one Bai Zhiwei had held, and began wiping it silently, not saying a word, as if sulking or staking her claim. Seeing her act so intimately, Bai Zhiwei spoke up anxiously. Chen, she. I cut her off with a smile. Bai Zhiwei, I think I've been clear, I said. There's no point in dragging this out, I added. Don't you agree? I asked. Bai Zhiwei pressed her lips together. Finally, in frustration, she pushed her coffee cup and stormed out. Only then did I tilt my head to look at Liu Ruyan beside me. Her face still carried a hint of anger, but her eyes softened as they met mine. I couldn't help but smile. I propped my chin, glancing at Liu Ruyan beside me. Miss Liu, I said with a teasing tone. My hand isn't that dirty, is it? I asked. If you keep wiping, you'll rub the skin right off, I added. Liu Ruyan paused her scrubbing. She muttered under her breath, he calls her Bai Zhiwei, but calls me Miss Liu, she grumbled. Do you have to be so formal, she questioned. Even Hayes comparing us, she huffed. I smiled and gently pulled my hand away, sitting up straight. So Miss Liu, what should I call you to be less formal? I asked. Change it, I suggested as Liu Ruyan tensed. She grabbed the coffee cup I'd just sipped from and took a drink. Wife, she blurted, her eyes lighting up. Calling me wife would be the least formal, she declared. Well, that's certainly not formal, I agreed. Though maybe a bit forward, I teased. Wife, I repeated. I feigned surprise as if the word slipped out. Liu Ruyan thought I was addressing her. Her eyes widened with delight. She let out a gleeful squeal. Then, she heard the rest of my words follow. That's not quite right, is it? I said. Maybe it'll just stick to your name, I suggested. Liu Ruyan's smile froze in place. Her face shifted back to that earlier resentful look. She didn't respond to me. Instead, she lowered her head, fidgeting with the wet wipe, and asked about Bai Zhuwei. Was that Bai Zhuwei your ex-girlfriend? She inquired. She wants to get back together with you, she pressed. I nodded yes. But I didn't agree, I clarified. Good, Liu Ruyan said. Though she seemed distracted, she stared down at the wet wipe, fixated on it. Lost in whatever thoughts swirled in her mind, her thoughts drifted further away. Then I saw her lips curve into a silly grin, her ears growing redder. She started muttering to herself, as if forgetting I was there. Hey, his voice calling me wife is so nice, she whispered. His hand felt so good to touch, she added. Hey, she giggled. This wipe touched his hand and smells so good now, she murmured. I'm keeping it as a treasure, she decided. I couldn't help but chuckle. Had she accidentally voiced her inner thoughts? It was rather adorable. Liu Ruyan, what are you saying? I asked. I spoke up deliberately. Liu Ruyan snapped back to reality. Her eyes widened in shock. When she didn't respond, I blinked innocently. Calling her name again, Liu Ruyan. Her neck stiffened, slowly turning her head toward me. Now not just her ears. Her whole face was flushed, like she was under a spell. She waved her hand in front of my eyes. Yi Chen, be good, you didn't hear anything just now, she urged. Nothing at all, okay, she insisted. She was getting even cuter. I stood up with a smile, giving her an out. Furrowing my brow, I feigned deafness. I guess I didn't hear anything I said. I'm heading home, I announced. What about you meeting someone here? I asked. Liu Ruyan jumped up. No. I was just passing by. I'll drive you home, she offered. This time I didn't refuse. I followed her out the door. As I bent to grab my bag, I noticed she was true to her word. Sneakily, folding the wet wipe she'd used on my hand into a small square and tucking it into her pocket, along with that fitting green cap, she tossed it straight into the trash. Soon she pulled up in front of my building. After parking, I prepared to get out. Liu Ruyan suddenly coughed twice, testing the waters. The weather's been so dry lately, she remarked. I forgot to grab a coffee at the cafe, she said. I'm feeling a bit thirsty now, she hinted. Hey, if only I could get a drink of water, she mused. But where's the water around here, she wondered. Where indeed, she said, staring ahead guiltily, not daring to look at me. I could guess her intentions. I lowered my head and smiled. Sure. Come up to my place for a drink, I offered. If got time, I added. Liu Ruyan turned to me eagerly. Before I'd even finished speaking, she was already nodding. I suddenly felt like teasing her. I blinked innocently at her. Liu Ruyan, I meant to say, I began. There's a store just up the road, I continued. You can buy a bottle of water only 100 meters away, I pointed out. You'll see it as soon as you step out, I said. Sorry, I apologized. My elders are home today, I explained. It's not really convenient, I said, to invite you up for water, I concluded. Liu Ruyan froze for a moment. She quickly turned back around, pretending it didn't matter. Got it. Head home, she said, but her reddening ears betrayed her inner turmoil. I didn't mention it, smiling as I got out and headed home. That evening, I learned from my parents. We were to visit the Liu family tomorrow. Both families' elders planned to discuss my marriage with Liu Ruyan and business matters. They thought Liu Ruyan and I hadn't met yet. Unaware of my true thoughts, they kept warning me not to cause trouble, insisting I must show up tomorrow, or they'd cut off my card and my living expenses. Honestly, that threat was scary enough. What choice did I have? So early the next morning, I obediently followed them to the Liu family. After getting out of the car, I watched my parents huddle together in front of me, whispering about the engagement. We're here so early, my mother said. Is that appropriate, she asked. My mother shot my father a disdainful glance. What do you know? Mrs. Liu and I planned this, she explained. We arrive early, then round up the old folks, she continued. Find an excuse to slip out, she schemed. Leave the two kids alone for the day, she added. To build some chemistry, she concluded. My father nodded eagerly. I see. You're always one step ahead, dear, he praised. They were saying all this in front of me, so loudly. Was that appropriate? But they were utterly shameless. Even Liu Ruyan's parents joined in, brazen as ever. As we stepped into the Liu family villa, Mrs. Liu took my hand, looking me over with satisfaction, then sighed dramatically. Oh my, that little girl, she said. What's she dawdling in her room for, she wondered. Guests are here and she doesn't even come out, she complained. Is she still getting ready after just waking up, she asked. Go hurry her up, she urged. Mr. Liu grumbled. No way. That girl annoys me, he said. Go call her yourself, he insisted. So Mrs. Liu turned back to me, her tone shifting. Chen, could you help Andy call her, she asked. Your mother and I have things to discuss, she explained. We can't step away, she added. I didn't agree right away. Instead, I glanced at my parents. They immediately looked away, refusing to meet my eyes. My mother stared at the wall, exclaiming, oh my, what a fine wall, she marveled. Such a sturdy wall, she added. My father gazed out the window, at a tree in the yard. That tree sure looks like a tree, he remarked. This house sure feels like a house, I thought dryly. These people were something else. With no choice, I silently agreed. After nodding to Mrs. Liu, I headed upstairs to Liu Ruyan's room. My foot barely touched the staircase when both families' elders exchanged a glance and slipped away without even an excuse. I stood there stunned, turning to the tightly shut door. A few seconds later, Wu Yu let out a laugh. They're a bit eager, aren't they, he remarked. Oh well, I figured I'd see what Liu Ruyan was up to. I reached her room on the second floor. Standing outside, I raised my hand to knock, but the door wasn't locked. Before my knuckles touched it, it creaked open on its own, and there was Liu Ruyan, sitting on her bed facing the door, her hair messy with a hint of laziness. Clearly just out of bed, she was typing on a laptop propped on her legs, focused on whatever she was doing. Her phone lay nearby, on speaker, chatting with a friend. Unaware the door had opened, I stood in the doorway, unintentionally overhearing their conversation. Honestly, I think Hayes stringing me along, she said. After we met at the bar, she continued. I made my feelings clear, she admitted. But he never takes it seriously, she complained. Neither agreeing nor outright rejecting, she added. I feel like Hayes playing me, she sighed. A girl's voice came through. Then step up your game. So what if Hayes handsome, she challenged. Cancel the engagement and see what happens, she suggested. Test if he panics, she urged. Liu Ruyan fell silent for a moment, as if making up her mind. Right, does he think Hayes that good-looking, she scoffed. Does he think I'm desperate to marry him, she asked. Toying with me, she huffed. Stringing me along, she fumed. I Liu Ruyan declare right now, she proclaimed. As she spoke, she snapped her laptop shut and set it aside. Picking up her phone, she stood ready to do something. But as she turned, her eyes locked with mine at the door. I immediately flashed her a playful smile. She froze in place, her body stiff, unmoving. The voice on the phone kept going. Declare what, it asked. What's your big statement, it pressed. Hello, speak, it demanded. She panicked. Pretending not to see me, she sat back on the bed, picking up her phone to talk to her friend. Her tone slightly guilty. No, freeze. Today, I Liu Ruyan declare, she began. Yi Chen's just good looking, she admitted. I fell for him at first sight, she confessed. I'm set on marrying him, she declared. He can toy with me however he wants, she said. Even treat me like a dog. I'm fine with it, she added. I'm happy to go along, she insisted. If you keep trying to sabotage us, she warned, or interfere with our relationship, she continued, he'll cut you off as a friend, she threatened. I'm busy, gotta go, she said. Liu Ruyan hung up. Standing again, she turned back, then acted as if she'd just noticed me. Starting her performance. So, Yi Chen, what are you doing here, she asked. When did you get here, she added. Why didn't anyone tell me, she exclaimed. If I knew you were visiting today, she said, I'd have come to pick you up early, she insisted. It's such a hassle for you to come alone, she added. Her acting skills were impressive, so I played along. I smiled. It's fine. I came with my parents, I explained. Mr. and Mrs. Liu said you might just woken up, I said. Not fully ready yet, I continued. They asked me to come check on you, I added. Didn't they tell you, I asked. We were coming over today, I finished. Seeing me shift the topic, Liu Ruyan quietly sighed in relief. She scratched her hair and stepped closer. No. Let's head over quick, she urged. Don't keep your parents waiting, she said. Soon. We returned to the first floor living room. As expected, it was completely empty. Under Liu Ruyan's confused, searching gaze, I shook my head, pretending I knew nothing. So, Liu Ruyan asked me to sit on the sofa and wait, while she slipped away to call her parents and demand answers. The call connected quickly. Liu Ruyan glanced at me, then asked Chen. They're here, she said. Why didn't you tell me, she questioned. Mrs. Liu's voice came lazily through the phone. Tell you, she said. Last time we just mentioned the engagement, she reminded. And you nearly disowned your father, she pointed out. If I told you in advance, she continued. You have bolted, she accused. I couldn't let my plan go awry, she insisted. You and Chen had to meet today, she declared. Liu Ruyan was speechless for a moment. She didn't rush to explain. Instead, she pressed. Fine, we've met. Where are you all now, she asked. Mrs. Liu laughed awkwardly, quickly making an excuse. Oh, well, she started. There's a small issue with the Liu, a business project, she said. The team below couldn't handle it, she explained. So we went with Chen's parents, she continued. To the company to sort it out, she added. It's all unexpected, she claimed. Anyway, you young folks meeting, she said. It's awkward with us hovering, she reasoned. Perfect chance for you two to spend time together, she suggested. We'll be back tonight, she promised. Before Mrs. Liu finished, Mr. Liu's voice chimed in. Little girl. I'm warning you, he said. You better take good care of Chen today, he ordered. If you dare leave him, he warned, and sneak off on your own, he added. You'll have your hide, he threatened. Liu Ruyan sighed, rubbing her temples. Father. Didn't I tell you already, she said. I accept the engagement, she reminded. I'm very willing to marry Chen, she affirmed. Mr. Liu cut her off. Who believes your nonsense? I can tell with my toes, he said. You're just saying that to buy time, he accused. Tricking me and your mother, he continued. Then finding a way to ruin this marriage, he added. I know all your little schemes, he declared. Enough, don't keep Chen waiting, he ordered. Go talk to him, he urged. Liu Ruyan sighed helplessly. Why are you using your toes to think, she muttered. The phone was abruptly hung up. Beep, beep, beep. I quietly averted my gaze, pretending I hadn't heard a thing. Liu Ruyan put away her phone. After a moment of silence, she cautiously scooted closer, sitting beside me. The vast living room now held just the two of us. She looked quite nervous. There's a slight issue with the business project, she said. They've all gone to the company, she explained. I nodded. I see, I said, and we fell silent again. A few minutes later, Liu Ruyan tilted her head toward me. Chen. Can you tell me, she began, what you really think about our engagement, she asked. She looked at me earnestly, her voice soft and alluring, as if she'd resolved to lay it all bare. When I met her gaze, for a fleeting moment I felt she'd been so open with her feelings that my feigned ignorance and stringing her along seemed a bit cruel. In that shared glance, a flicker of nervousness crossed her eyes. It's okay. You don't have to answer right away, she reassured. Let me share my thoughts first, she offered. She lowered her eyes, took a deep breath, and when she looked up again, love was clear in her gaze. From the moment I saw you at the bar, she confessed. I fell for you, she admitted. Love at first sight might sound frivolous, she said. But Chen, I hope you'll believe me, she pleaded. My feelings for you aren't just a whim, she insisted. I knew clearly, she continued. From the instant I saw you, she said. My body, she added. My soul, they were screaming to have you, she revealed. I truly want to marry you, she declared. I stared at her, a bit stunned. Something deep in my heart stirred at her words. I lowered my eyes and smiled. Is this you confessing to me, I asked. Yes, she said, inching closer. Her fingertips lightly brushed the back of my hand. Her gaze intense. What about you, she asked. Can you tell me what you're thinking, she pressed. Before I could answer, she suddenly frowned, tugging at her hair. Don't overthink it. I'm just confessing, she clarified. not demanding anything, she added. Just tell me your true feelings, she urged. I can't figure out what's in your head, she admitted. So I had to ask directly, she explained. Even if you're not ready to accept me now, she said. That's okay, she reassured. I can pursue you, she offered. I've never chased a guy before, she admitted. But I think I'd be pretty good at it, she said confidently. Just give me a chance, okay, she pleaded. She tilted her head, looking up at me, putting herself in a vulnerable position, begging pitifully, her eyes like those of an innocent puppy, making my heart soften. I do feel some fondness for you, I admitted, but it's not quite love yet, I clarified. Since you put it that way, I continued. Go ahead and pursue me, I challenged. Liu Ruyan's face lit up with a grin. As you wish, she said, though I was fibbing. My feelings for her were strange, like a physical attraction. I didn't mind her closeness. I didn't mind her touch. Even just thinking of her made my lips curve unconsciously. Perhaps this was the love at first sight she spoke of. I'd meant to admit it outright. But when she confidently said she'd be good at pursuing someone, I got curious about how she'd do it. So I'd confess, after she tried. Staying at home was getting dull. After our talk, Liu Ruyan took me out for a day of fun. Both families' elders dropped their pretense. They called, saying we didn't need to rush back to the Liu house. Go wherever you want after you're done, they said. So that evening, Liu Ruyan drove me back to my building. She looked at me eagerly as I prepared to get out. Is it convenient for me to come up for a drink today, she asked. I'm feeling thirsty again, she added. I smiled and nodded sure. The place I live in was a birthday gift from my parents when I came of age. All these years, I've been living there alone. There's never anyone else at home. Liu Ruyan perked up. Which floor? You go up first, she said. I'll park and come right over, she promised. After telling her my floor, I turned to head for the elevator. But unexpectedly, I ran into a drunken Baijiwei at the elevator. The moment she saw me, she looked shocked. Stumbling toward me, Chen. So you weren't home, she slurred. I thought you were avoiding me, not opening the door, she said. She'd gotten drunk and come looking for me. I looked at her. Baijiwei. We've been broken up for years, I said. What's the point of this persistence, I asked. Bypassing her, I headed for the elevator. She stumbled, grabbing my arm. No matter how I struggled, she wouldn't let go, dragging me to a corner, pinning me against the wall. She gripped my hands tightly, leaning her head on my shoulder, reeking of alcohol. Chen, she murmured. Why won't you get back with me, she asked. I don't believe you feel nothing for me, she insisted. Is it because of that woman at the cafe, she questioned. What's so great about her, she demanded. Can she compare to me, she challenged. Chen, you'll regret choosing her, she warned. Chen, come back, she pleaded. Come back to me, please, she begged. Chen, I love you, she said, leaning closer, trying to kiss me. I used all my strength to push her away, but I underestimated a drunk's power. No matter how I struggled, I couldn't break free. Baijiwei, are you crazy? I shouted. Let me go, I demanded, but she refused. As she got closer, I turned my head, closing my eyes in despair. The next second, the weight lifted. When I opened my eyes, I saw Liu Ruyan's back in front of me, while Baijiwei sat on the ground, clutching her mouth, blood trickling from her lip. Liu Ruyan was panting. She stepped forward, grabbing Baijiwei's collar, and slapped her again as she raised her hand for another. I rushed forward, grabbing her arm. Liu Ruyan, stop, I urged. You'll get in trouble, I warned. Liu Ruyan turned to me, eyes red. Are you feeling sorry for her? She asked. If you'd told me you had someone else, she said, I wouldn't have clung to you shamelessly, she added. Chen, is it fun to toy with me? She demanded. I stood there stunned, knowing she'd misunderstood. From a distance, Baijiwei and I must have looked like lovers about to kiss. Before I could explain, Liu Ruyan let go of Baijiwei, shook off my hand, and left without looking back. I wanted to chase after her, but Baijiwei was motionless on the ground, either passed out from drink or knocked out. I sighed in frustration. Finally, I called an ambulance, worried she'd cause trouble for Liu Ruyan if something happened. While waiting for the ambulance, I called Liu Ruyan countless times. No one answered. My messages went unanswered too. Even after Baijiwei was taken away, I still couldn't reach Liu Ruyan. I sighed. Instead of going home, I wandered out of the complex. Surprisingly, I spotted Liu Ruyan's car by the roadside nearby. She was inside, the window half open. I hurried over, wanting to clear up the misunderstanding. As I got closer, I saw her head lowered, muttering to herself over the steering wheel. It's been so long. He hasn't come to comfort me, she said. I must be crazy, she admitted. I'm actually thinking of going back to be the other woman for love, she confessed. It's not right, she acknowledged. Her voice grew softer, tinged with a sob. But I'm really willing, she whispered. I stood outside watching her quietly, my emotions a tangled mess. After a while, seeing she hadn't looked up, I gently tapped the car window. Liu Ruyan's body stiffened. Slowly she raised her head to look at me. Her throat bobbed, her eyes red. Why aren't you with her at the hospital, she asked. Are you here to blame me for hitting her, she questioned. Before I could answer, she seemed to realize something, suddenly looking away, avoiding my gaze. Her voice hoarse, as if struggling to hold back her emotions. Or are you here to talk about canceling the engagement, she asked. Seeing her like this, I felt a pang of heartache. I quickly reached through the window, tugging at her sleeve, softening my tone to soothe her. Liu Ruyan, I'm not canceling the engagement, I said. She was drunk and cornered me, I explained. She wouldn't let me go, I added. I wasn't strong enough to push her off, I admitted. I don't care that you hit her, I said. I just saw her half-dead state, I continued. And didn't want you to get in trouble, I clarified. There is someone in my heart, I confessed. But it's not her, I said. It's you, I admitted. I like you too. Please don't be mad, I pleaded. I looked at her pitifully, shaking her arm like a child. Liu Ruyan looked up again, in disbelief, her eyes wide. What did you say, she asked. Don't be mad, I repeated, thinking for a moment. I smiled and said again, I said I like you, and the next second, the car door swung open. I stepped back, and she pulled me into a tight embrace. She was trembling with excitement, her whole body shaking slightly. Really, she asked, still unbelieving. I nodded gently in her arms. Really, I confirmed. At my words, Liu Ruyan stood on her toes, nuzzling my ear, her warm breath tickling me, sending shivers to my heart. She was so excited she started crying. A tear slid down my neck. Her voice, thick with tears, reached my ears. I thought I was about to lose you, she said. I was ready to give up and become a nun, she joked. Even in such an emotional moment, she still teased me. I laughed at her words. After you left, I said. I called you so many times to explain, I told her. You didn't pick up, I added. I sent messages and you didn't reply, I said. Liu Ruyan looked sheepish. I had my phone on silent and didn't check, she admitted. She loosened her hold slightly, looking at me tenderly. Chen, I want to kiss you, she said. Is that okay, she asked. And I wrapped my arms around her neck, leaning closer. Liu Ruyan, for something like this, don't ask, I said. Just kiss me, I urged. Liu Ruyan said no more. Her ears red, she leaned in and kissed me. When the kiss ended, she pulled me back into her arms. So you're my boyfriend now, she declared. My ear pressed against her chest. I heard her unfiltered, joyful heartbeat. I hugged her back. Following my heart, I softly said yes. But in truth, I wasn't her boyfriend for long, because a month later, we naturally got married. On our wedding day, as Gu Yin helped me get ready, he marveled, this is a whirlwind marriage. So fast I can barely keep up, he said. Then he brought up Baijiwei. She probably doesn't dare show her face now, right, he asked. I heard after she was taken to the hospital, he said. Her mom tried to extort you for money, he revealed. She was so embarrassed she took an overseas assignment, he added, and fled abroad, he concluded. I rolled my eyes. On a day like this, don't mention her, I said. Gu Yin laughed, adjusting my tie. All right. Looking at me in the mirror, he sighed, so handsome. Liu Ruyan's getting a steal, he teased. I smiled without responding, thinking Liu Ruyan wasn't bad herself. Marrying her was a steal for me too. That day, the wedding kept Liu Ruyan and me busy late into the night. We finally returned to our marital home. After washing up, we collapsed onto the bed, exhausted beyond measure. I rolled over ready to sleep. But the next second, Liu Ruyan pulled me into her warm embrace. Husband, don't we have unfinished business, she asked. Her voice carried a playful smile. Her breath tickled my ear, hot and teasing, making my ears burn. I shrank back so tired. "You still have energy?" I asked. The next moment she flipped me over, pinning me down. "Are you doubting me?" she teased. "For this I've got plenty of energy," she declared. I was wrong. That night's exertion made me regret asking that question. There's a saying about a tired ox, but never a worn-out field. I was so exhausted I lost track of the world. The next day Liu Ruyan went to work full of energy, while I, groggy, stayed wrapped in blankets until afternoon. At that moment, only one thought filled my mind. This woman! I'd never dare run my mouth again.